Principles of Management students, hi, it's Catherine Robertson here. I am coming to you from the West Campus for this video, and we are looking at week 8, and this will be due, today is Tuesday, so I'm hoping if you can try and get this week's work, just chapter 12, in by next Monday. We're kind of on a Monday schedule now since we are going to be missing a Monday coming up on Memorial Day. I'm putting us kind of on that schedule. If you are missing homework, I am working here in the next day or two to get updated grade book. But if you are behind on the homework, just try and get caught up as soon as possible so that you don't lose too many points for late work. You get quite a few points even for turning in late work, and you want to try to build as many points as you can throughout the semester. All right, so this week we are looking at chapter 12, and it's a similar structure as our previous chapter. So you're pretty familiar with the textbook at this point. And if you're not, that's not a good thing, right? So this week, let me tell you the page number. Starts on page 369. And chapter 12 talks about diversity in organizations. We define a little bit about what diversity within an organization means, and then the text goes into a little bit discussing, what are some of the components of diversity within the workforce? Like, how do we define it in the sense that, what makes individuals different within an organization? And how then the chapter also starts to talk about the impact of diversity within a workforce and what that brings to the table when you have diverse viewpoints, diverse cultural norms, when you have diverse age ranges, and you have different genders. And, from a percentage standpoint, if you have a fairly diverse workforce, you're able to, pull from different viewpoints, right, as you move forward and grow. But how does that work then from a management standpoint when you are, attempting to please attempting to please employees from different orientations, right? And you're attempting to motivate and empower them. How might you do that? And so talking about different groups and maybe different needs that they might have, because again, remember, this is from a management lens, and how do we, empower them so that, we can move forward in the most successful way. All right, so let's see. That is chapter 12, and it also discusses some of the challenges in, leading a diverse workplace. And then it kind of rolls into some of the theories that are out there as to how to manage, depending on the size of your organization, depending on the location of your organization. You may have a minimal amount of diversity, and you may have an extreme amount of diversity. And so there are just different tools that are available, and a few different theories kind of along the psychology realm when we talk about like social identity theory, schema theory, that we all develop different schemas depending on the experiences that we've had. And so review those theories, and also how do we tailor then the interview and the recruitment process to attract diverse employees. All right, so those are some of the outcomes we're looking for in chapter 12. The things that are due for chapter 12, there is a video this week in week 8. We're in week 8, right? How to get serious about diversity and inclusion in the workplace, right? And so then review the PowerPoint for chapter 12 after you've read the chapter. There are some chapter 12 questions, and then there is a discussion this week. The discussion this week, which I see some of you have already started to participate in, provide a concrete example of how different perspectives stemming from diversity can positively impact an organization or work group. And you can use real-life examples or make one up. And so really, if you have worked in a space where you have had individuals from either different cultures, different age ranges, different educational levels, what do they bring to the table, right? Because if you're working with someone that is very similar to yourself, you already know what they're going to say, right? There's not a lot of what would we call inspiration. But when you're talking with someone that has a completely different viewpoint, you're really able to kind of critically enhance each other's viewpoints and then move forward to a new viewpoint. And so this idea of diversity, you can either use something that has happened to you that was positive, a positive impact, right? Either in a group setting, or maybe you had to work directly with a single employee, or maybe 2 or 3 employees that you worked together, and the fact that they were different from you and brought different perspectives really moved you forward in a better way, right? Than if it had just been everyone had a similar perspective. You were able to see things from a different way. And so you can use a real life example, or you could maybe use one that you have witnessed on TV or in some sort of media, or make up an example of something that you think might be, positively a positive impact of diversity within an organization. So if you haven't recently had an experience, that's okay. You can, use your imagination and make one up. That is our discussion for this week. That's discussion number 5. Make sure you're if you've been missing out on some of the discussions, missing out on your homework, make sure you're capturing all of these points, because all of those points go toward your, out of 100 points, right? I have it broken down that, each piece of work that we do goes toward that 100 points, and building points all the way up to that 100, right? So you can do really well on the final. And if you're not turning anything in, you're not going to get that great of a grade. Or if you're turning everything in and you don't do that well in the final, you still might get a pretty good grade, right? And so that both components are important. You aren't required to reply to anyone, but if you do, make sure that you use positive and inclusive language, right? Again, we are all working together to get through this class. So that is week 8. As you know, if you are struggling, reach out to me. You have my phone, 814-490-6473. You can text me. You can email me, crobertson@ec3pa. I am on campus, the West Campus, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1:30 to 2:30, or by appointment. So you could meet with me here on the 2nd floor, or the East Campus. I am there teaching class in the morning on Monday and Wednesdays. I can meet with you after, or virtually. So hopefully you're having a good week, and it's Tuesday 5/2, and we are doing chapter 12. Have a wonderful afternoon.